Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Spider-Man. In the last one we took out the Scorpion, now we're on issue 3, Rhino's Rampage.
We're too late. That makes 2 major technology heists in 2 days.
That leaves one question. Where's Rhino?
Cat!
Well, if it ain't Bug Boy!
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, Spidey fans, Black Cat is out. Rhino's looking to take Spidey down as well.
And time for the second boss fight against the Rhino. And if anyone's familiar with anything Spider-Man, especially with the Rhino, you know something about him. He's rock stupid. And because of that, he resorts to the tactics of a bull. He'll only ever charge you unless you're right next to him, then he'll actually, smack you. However, the way you're supposed to technically be fighting him is have him charge into the electric machines. They're in the center, obviously. However, to get the next comic book, you actually want to destroy all of the explosive barrels. Either have him run into them, or throw them at him, or you can alternate that like I usually do. This won't kill him, this will only do him at maybe half to 3/4 of his health. But it's still pretty handy to get this because, collecting things is fun. You could potentially use web against him, but I rarely ever do. In fact, I'm not even sure how effective it is aside from the web gauntlets. But I have to say that I love this fight for one reason alone. It has some of Spidey's best lines. I'll be hearing 2 specific ones in a few moments. Thankfully, thankfully, kind of detrimental to our health. The Rhino, while he is stupid, isn't horribly stupid. If he's right next to the barrels, like there's one right in front of him, he will not charge at you. So, that's a bit of a sad thing, but oh well. If you don't have any more barrels, that's when I recommend just starting punching him when he's confused like that. But the real fight technically begins after we get rid of all the barrels.
What's the matter? You hurt your little tusky-wusky?
Actually, that's one thing I actually really like about one of the modern cartoons, Ultimate Spider-Man, by the way. Comic book number 10 is right here. That's Amazing Spider-Man number 41. One thing I really like about the current Spider-Man TV show, the Ultimate Spider-Man on like Disney XD or whatever, they got Spidey's wit almost perfect. A bit too kid-friendly, but it's like it's a kid's show. Either way, this is what you're technically supposed to be doing for most of the fight. Have him run into these electric barrier things. Not only does he actually get initial damage, but he also gets lasting, lingering damage as well. However, do not punch him when he's electrified, because that does hurt.
Hey, that is expensive equipment.
I do recommend having him charge as diagonally as you can, because he's actually pretty hard to dodge when he's coming straight on at you. But as long as you keep your head on straight and don't go right into battle with him, Rhino is not a very hard boss. Also, for defeating the Rhino, we unlock the game's first bonus costume, the Scarlet Spider, otherwise known as Ben Reilly.
Spider sense team. Oh, the boys in blue again. Better hide. Best seat in the house. Octavius, what's he doing here?
Please, stand back, officers. Allow me.
Doc Ock helping the police? Maybe he is reformed. Ock's taking care of Rhino. I need to find out what happened to Black Cat. This is a job for Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. Hey, wait! Cat! Cat, it's Peter!
Peter! You gotta help me. They're not really paramedics.
Perfect.
I wonder who they were. But with that, we're already done with issue number 3. Now we're on issue number 4. We're back. Was that the name of a shitty dinosaur movie?
Well, that's my story, Johnny.
Looks like you're in a lot of trouble. You'll find Venom.
But how? Venom is invisible to my spider sense.
Knowing your luck, Venom will find you. Have faith, Spidey.
Where could she be? Gotta find her. Got no choice.
Well, what a wuss. Hey, wanna race? Parker hates it when I get the drop on him.
I hate it when he gets the drop on me.
Hurry up, Parker.
And welcome to probably one of the hardest levels in the game for newcomers. Very similar to the Scorpion chase last part, we have to keep up with Venom. If Spidey's head gets all the way to the left on that meter, you lose Venom and it's game over. So you really need to know this level and keep in mind the best way to go about it. Swing around as many times as you can, don't just walk because it is slower. And try to learn shortcuts where there is one, like I know there's a massive one right here that can keep you really close to him. However, this is also one of the first levels with 2 comic books in it. In fact, the first one is right here on the side here. Comic number 11 is Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man number 42. And there it is. However, thankfully, you don't need to worry too much when you're at this good little girder section, because he'll actually wait around and taunt you until you get right next to him. Which is good, because there's an Iron Spider outfit in comic book number 12, Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man number 76, right there. You really don't have to worry about this section, though, because... well, this section of the level right here, because he just waits around and taunts you. It's more or less just a tiny break, actually. Though I like Venom's model, though I have to question what's with all the extra tentacles. I know he had those, but not that many and not that 2D looking.
Yeah, look out, lady.
Oh my goodness!
Get out of my way, nerd. Watch that first step, Parker. It's a doozy.
Ow, my head! Oh, toe, ow!
Yeah, look out, lady.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, sorry, lady. Didn't see a thing.
What, Spidey, what are you doing? I actually don't know what happened there. I'm assuming my controls were not supposed to be working at that point, but they were. And it's around this point that this level actually gets really annoying because Venom gets a lot faster and he starts making bigger leaps, meaning it's harder to keep up with him. My best advice for here is get off the walls as soon as you can, because crawling up is the slowest thing you can do in this section. And don't fumble around with the controls like I often do, because there's times where I'll accidentally fall down because I'm pressing X a bit too early. You know what it is? I think, like right here actually, I do it right here. I think whenever I'm playing a game, X is a jump button, so I'll think I won't just fall off the wall, I think I'll jump off of it first, which is not the way it works. But thankfully, once you're around here, you're home free, because the end of the level is right on that building. Although, watch out, you can still lose on that second to last one, I have.
If you want to fight, follow me. Where'd Spider-Wuss go? Spider-Wuss! Come out and play!
Tag! Come back here, Venom! Where are you?
Now you see me, now you don't.
First off, nice of the game to give us some free web gauntlets. And now it's time for the fight against Venom, which can be potentially annoying. The way he works is that you'll be able to hit him a bit at first, yes, but then he'll disappear and transport to another part of the map. In which case, if you're not in the center, he'll likely whip you towards himself, like he does right there. There's 2 versions of that, one where he uses web, one where he doesn't. And don't stick too close to him, because he can also grab onto you and do interesting things. But as you saw, there was a comic book there underneath that car, and I grabbed it right there. That was comic number 13, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8. My best advice for this level, or this boss fight rather, is keep the web gauntlets on as much as possible, because they really do help your damage output. And try to stay close to him, and don't let him get too far and do this, because that really does hurt, especially, I mean, just look at what it did to the Iron Spider. Well, technically not the Iron Spider, that's a different thing entirely. More like the, Spider Armor is technically its title. I just call it the Iron Spider because it looks like it's made of iron and it's on Spider-Man. So I'm technically right. But yeah, stay as an intermediate distance from him when you can and just deal out damage while you can. It's not the hardest fight, but it's probably the first boss fight that's an outright challenge.
Get a breath, man!
I actually like it in What If mode. Peter Parker actually enjoys that. He's like, "Wee! Pick me up again!" A lot of the changes in What If mode are minor, but some of them really make me laugh.
Lay him down on the job, Parker.
Where's my wife, you symbiote freak? You can run, Venom, but you can't hide.
And welcome to the sewer level. Glorious. And we immediately get thrown into some new enemies. Lizardmen. These guys should not be underestimated. They can go down in 1 to 2 combos, especially with the web gauntlets. But these guys can really lay out the damage on you, and it really sucks. My best advice is to jump as much as possible and hope they don't shoot their little acid bits at you, which can really be annoying. Also, I should mention, for beating Venom, we actually got another bonus costume unlocked. The Ben Reilly Spider-Man suit, not his Scarlet Spider suit, his other one from when...
These guys must be leftovers from one of the Lizard's experiments.
From when he formerly took over as Spider-Man for Peter, when he thought he was a clone. Either way, now that we've actually heard that audio from Spider-Man and walked into that room, that open room with the tubes, we can walk back to find this level's comic book, which is comic book number 14, Spectacular Spider-Man number 229. Coming up, though, I actually caution you to not fight the Lizardmen in this next room because they're all on very small pipes. And if you, like, do a jump kick like I like to do to start off a combo against them or such, it's very often you fall off it. If you don't save yourself, that pit's an instant death, which sucks. So, watch out for that. Thankfully, for the most part, they don't touch you as long as you get past them, so you can just completely ignore them, more or less. Also, what is that Romish building down there in the bottom screen? I don't think I've actually never noticed that. You guys saw that, right? Was that just like some sort of chamber for the pipes? Because that looked like an ancient Roman thing.
Trap! I'm sorry, guys. Am I late for the party?
I hate this room, because these guys suck. Considering you have to fight 4 of them at once, it's actually very dangerous, and there's no health refills in this room. The health refill that I couldn't take because, you know, I was full on health, was in the room prior to this, and since the door's closed, I can't grab it. So let's see, I'm about at 3/4 health, half health, 1/4 health, and dying. Help me, oh god, no. These guys really hurt, so watch out for them.
Open this door!
Who is it?
And now it's time for more of the same level design, only this time, you might remember back in part 1, I mentioned that there was a manual aiming system that you could do for Spidey's webbing. Time for us to actually put that to use.
I should probably swing to the next pipes using my L1 targeting mode.
The way that this game wants you to take this section is that you'll notice some of these pipes have green lights. That is whenever you get to a pipe, another pipe's lights turn green. That is the one you should be aiming next with your manual system. This is how it works. You hold down L1, you go into this system, and then, by the way, the aiming is inverted. You aim to where you want to go next, press R2. If the reticule's green, you can land on it. If it's blue, it's a switch. If it's red, you can't do anything. But before we go to the next pipe, we actually want to go behind the waterfall, because as anything is in video games, if there's a waterfall, there's almost always something behind it. In this case, a good amount of web cartridges, Iron Spider outfit, well, spider armor, and comic book number 15, Spider-Man number 1, McFarlane Silver. Though I'd like to note that they almost all use like one of the first Spider-Man covers for some reason. I don't know why. Mind you, I can understand, actually no, I can understand why, because making a different graphic for each individual comic would be really annoying and kind of spoil which one you got. But yeah, this section's more or less, I guess, a tutorial on this manual aiming system. A bit late into the game, because we're just about at the halfway point, actually. So, oddly timed, but I guess I'll take it. For speedrunning purposes, there's probably a way you can either make this go faster or just skip past it entirely. In fact, you know what? I'm going to look up the speedrun times. Let's see. According to Speed Demos Archive, almost everyone speedruns this on kid mode because that's the fastest, apparently, or something. And it's about 37.5 minutes. That is actually really impressive. Keep in mind that so far in this Let's Play, we're about 40-ish minutes in. Yowza. This room sucks as well because you got another 4 or 5 of the lizards. Thankfully, this time I had the gauntlets on so I could do a bit more damage more quickly. But these guys really do too much damage. In fact, speaking of which, we're actually getting to the point where my friend and I got stuck on this game constantly as a kid, and those things were a major factor into why we constantly got stuck. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there soon.
Wanna lift? Hang on, Parker. We're dreams at the next stop.
I hate the section. This is a timed auto-scroller, more or less. You have to wait for that train on the bottom to get all the way to the right while killing Lizardmen. Thankfully, you don't exactly need to take away all their HP. If you just knock them on the train, it's an instant kill like that. But this takes way too long. I think it takes around 4 minutes, which is why I've sped it up. Around the 1/3 point, we're going to be speeding up, I think 3 times the speed until we get to some dialogue, and then continuing on the 3 times speed. Because this really takes way too long for its own good, honestly. Admittedly, while they are throwing a lot of Lizardmen at us, it's not the hardest thing in the world because they actually do have health pickups here that I think there's like a total of 4, and you just cycle through the track over and over again, getting the same ones. And there are a few web cartridges scattered over here and there as well. So it's not the hardest thing in the world, it's just really tedious and takes too long for its own good. I don't like being held up like this for that long.
How many of them are there? Where is she, Venom? Where is my wife?
Aw, that's cute. But yeah, at this point, this section really should have ended by now, honestly. I don't like it, but it's not horribly offensive in terms of gameplay, I guess. I've played much worse auto-scrollers. And yeah, that's about it. Once you're at the end, it takes a bit for the cutscene to load, and then you're done.
Oh no!
Got to stop falling for us, Parker.
But with that and us getting swung into another sewer level, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we'll be doing another sewer level, plain and simple. See you guys then!